believe that's working.
Yep, there we go. The recording. Yay! FMUF! FMUF! Welcome back, everyone. We've been gone a while again.
Was both of our faults. I'll be nice. It was.
Okay.
I won't just blame Ella. I think it was both of us being stupid.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. You know what? You little bitch. How dare you? No. Yeah. I mean, we both moved house, and then E3 was like plonked right on the spot where we moved and where everything was a bit crazy. So I don't think either of us had the brain space to be able to sort out an episode at that time. But
I mean, it was a good event, E3. But you know, in the past we missed it. You'll never. The things happen at E3 that you'll never hear about.
No, you'll never know. It's a mystery. Yep. It's just it's lost to the annals of time now. It's like when you go to the library and you see a book series and then they've got that specific book missing and you'll never know. It's run out. It's
the lost episode.
The lost episode of FMUF. We will never be. That we may have recorded that and just not told you. Like, you never know. It could just be out there floating in some audio files.
It in a drunken haze, and it'll be found in years' time.
Yeah, like a time capsule of alcohol and regrets. Absolutely, 100%. But no, E3 was a bit manic, so I don't know. It's all just sort of like a haze of stress and horror. So
it was a lot of hanging out with friends and doing random things and running about. And E4 was much more chill, I think.
E4 was so much more chill.
I think it was probably one of the most chill events I've had in a while, but it was one that I desperately needed.
Absolutely, me too. Like, in a big fucking way. Like, especially like with smaller events and things, you don't tend to get chill events.
Yeah.
With Empire, you sometimes get chill events, but I don't think there's ever been one where we've managed to just sit in the Hearth and Honey in Varushka and we could have been there the whole day and it would have been fine.
Yeah, it was just like fighting, drinking, hanging out a little bit, and then we're like, okay, let's go hang out with Varushkan friends, and then it was like, oh, it's nighttime. Oh,
well, it's mistake now. Guess this is us. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, cool stuff did still happen. So if we start with the Friday.
Yes, yeah. So I arrived on Thursday because I'm cool like that.
Yeah, sure.
As much as I tried to persuade you, you wouldn't, because you're not cool.
No, right? Is that that's the whole thing? It's not like there was an underlying medical issue.
Yeah, whatever.
God damn it! Yeah, you rocked up.
Thursday was as it always is. You just hang out with people and say your greetings, and then nothing really happens. And then Friday happened. Yep. And Ella turned up and the fun began.
Yep, the party can now officially start. I'm here. What the fuck is happening? Oh, fuck. Cool. It's like, how long till time in? Like 2 hours? Oh, no. Cool. So running around, doing the thing. So turning up on Friday is always an adventure because, you'll turn up and you feel like you've got plenty of time and then you blink and it's time in and you're like, oh, shit. Whoops.
Definitely.
Especially in the Dunnings because we technically start an hour before because we have family meeting.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
that's true. So
you do have to be ready like an hour before.
Yeah, so you'll be wandering around thinking, time's in at 6, and then someone will wander by and be like, oh, yeah, you need to get in your kit in 10 minutes. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like family meeting and all the lineage. Absolutely.
Family meeting. Stupid thing.
Yeah, it's good fun, though. It's always nice to catch up with people and find out, because I don't tend to, read in depth too much the Winds of War or anything.
And I wish I could, and I wish I did, but I wish I didn't have to. I wish I could just look at it and absorb it into my mind, because it's so long. But the ones that I have had the time to read, because, they're very pertaining to my character, they're so well written and they're really cool and they're really in depth. But all the other ones, it's just like, it's pages and pages.
It absolutely is. And you get to the end of it, you're just like, well, what was the point of that? I gained one bit of relevant information I can actually use, I see, because it makes no sense for my character to know any of this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's my excuse. I don't read the ones that my character wouldn't know, because my character's a fucking meathead idiot, so... Yeah,
exactly. There we go. It's fine. We're all dumbasses. It's fine. Just don't think about it too much. Right, so
I
what else?
finally got myself a dagger for this event.
You did, which I'm very proud for. Like,
Yeah.
finally, I've been saying you should get a dagger because it's fun. You can shiv people whenever you like, and now you see why. You've joined.
So I've been trying for a while. I've been trying to buy something for a while. Every event I've come and I've brought my money in my little pocket and I've gone around all the shops and I've looked at all the knives and I could never find. I'm so picky with it. I could never find one that I liked and that I wanted. And this event, I went around and I went to Scanmore. And there was like 3 for me to choose from that were all amazing with like a really well snug fitting sheath for them. So it took me ages just to like pick between them. I was now spoiled for choice. You know, when it rains, it pours. But I eventually got myself one. I chose on it, and it was probably one of my top purchases for LARP. Honestly, it's amazing to just have a little dag you can pull out at very comedic or opportune moments.
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan.
Precisely, and it's just like you don't have to like wrestle with your sword sheath all the time trying to threaten people. You just have like a little pointy thing. You can just go, rah! It's great. Also, you can steal other people's. What? I mean, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like a card collecting game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You've got to catch them all. Yeah, just got to get the best daggers in your nation and just hold them, stab people with them. I mean, obviously, don't get caught if you do that, but like that's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's visions of a past life that coming through.
Clearly, yeah. Just the labyrinth hit me in the face there. Just madness.
The need to stab came through.
The need to stab came through. Oh man, that's no. Ferrin has none of that. She's a totally lovely little Naga who would never stab anyone ever. Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
So
and
I don't think there was much. Yeah, you found your axe. That was good.
Did. It was good. I lost it last event and was very sad, and then I found it again and was very glad. That's pretty much that story. Full of joy.
Yeah.
Sparked joy. It was good.
I don't think much more happened before time in.
Oh, yeah. Fairly chill day, and then time in happened and shit kicked off.
So our family meeting is, as it always is, catching up on how everyone's been, all the new people that are joining, and then all the people that have put the time in reading the Winds of War will go through the ones that are interesting to us as a family, and everyone else sort of nods.
Yeah.
And then also the few things that the family is doing, like we're building, I think we're trying to build a cathedral or something right now. I don't know, man. I'm a dummy.
I know, I only work here. It's fine.
Yeah.
I only work here. No one tells me nothing. But yeah, I think they're trying to building a cathedral in Dunhall for like Salvi's congregation.
Yeah.
I think is the plan. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Just more
it's like,
big and powerful.
Exactly. I mean, she's the only. Well, I say this. She's one of the priests who actually uses their synod power and synod votes, whereas so that makes sense because Ferrin does not. And the last time I voted was last summit, not last summit, the summit before last.
Oh no.
And that's because Salvi kicked my ass into doing it.
Yeah, Snack Mum drags you to the voting.
Yeah, she did. She didn't do that this time, so I got away with it. Oh man, run away. Yeah, you had saw you guys marching off shortly after family meeting. What was that about?
That was battle practice.
So
every event, Chris / Elson drags all of Wintermark. Well, most of Wintermark and all of us, apart from the ones that sneak away, into battle practice to hone our skills or whatever. It's mostly just very tiring. But this time we were doing it by the Sentinel Gate rather than in Wintermark. So everyone thought we were doing a skirmish. But we turn up and people are queuing to do like skirmishes that are straight after time in. They're like, "Oh, are you here to fight? Are you here to fight?" And we're like, "No, we're just going to hit each other for a little bit. Call it training."
Oh, amazing. So they were just there like, "Are you here to save our asses?" And you're like, "Nah."
Yeah. So extra. Doing it by the Sentinel Gate in front of everyone.
God damn it, Ailson. He just ups his game a little more, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant. But so
go ahead.
I hid from that in Loomies. I saw you all march past me and like snuck away behind the tent. I was like, nope. Smart. Yeah, I was like, nah, bitch, later.
We marched past Shattered Tower in Highguard. and all of a sudden I feel like someone jabbing me in the shoulder real quick, and it's Beth Dooner's character, or Beth Dooner. But I don't think I've ever actually interacted with her in character, so I just it's mostly just me and Beth. But she was like, "Oh, where you going? Where you going? Who are you fighting?" And I was just like, "Oh no, we're just doing battle practice. We're just doing it here because we're very extra, and everyone needs to watch how beautiful we are."
we get those wood carvings.
Yeah, and she'd been stuck on the other side of the whole from her chapter house. From the column that we were marching in, so and there's like obviously loads of us. She was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just wait here then."
Yeah,
cross the road safely.
We do need like a Dunning's crossing, like pedestrian crossing for everybody. Because if we start going past you, there's no way you're getting past us until we're all gone.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a big old chunky boy lot.
All dressed in red. It's like a red light at traffic lights. You got to wait for the red to go, and then you can
exactly wait for the red, and then maybe there's like a Navarri who runs past who's the green, and you're like, green. I can go now. Cool. There's a safety Navarri.
Never has a Navarri been described as safety before.
Oh, exactly. That's an oxymoron. Fucking safety Navarri. Good God. Yeah. So the rest of Friday. What did you get up to for the rest of Friday?
Oh man, so battle practice finished. We all got some hydrated again because running around in chainmail is as tiring as it will ever be. Getting more tiring the more we go.
The more jaded you become as a LARPer.
Yeah, the more my back aches as I go. Yeah. Friday, man. You take over for what you did Friday because I'm trying to think for a minute.
Yeah, legit. Because we lost each other for a bit there. Because I went off and did various other things. So I ended up walking up with Blaze and Captain Fancy Pants Rule, which is Rachel and Luke OC. Hi guys, if you're listening. And we bimbled up to the academy because Rachel needed to do some kids plot stuff, which was kind of fun. Yeah, but she didn't want to go by herself. So she was like, okay, I'd prefer if some cousins came with me.
Armed guard, cronies.
Exactly. So like me and Rule were free. So we're like, this seems like fun, whatever. Then we found out that we were actually going to go and appease a sovereign.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yep. So that was nerve-wracking. Because for those of you who don't know, a sovereign is essentially, well, they're kind of like mini minor deities. And
little Varushka demigods.
Exactly. And they sort of harass Varushka a lot because you sort of either need to keep them happy or kill them in order to, be safe in various places. And they have the ability to fuck with you telepathically, which we found out last event where we went to a skirmish with a sovereign and it started fucking with everyone's brain holes, which was horrendous because we were like fighting through this mist and there were husks everywhere, like lurching out and like coming for our faces. And then like in my head, because we had like little radios put in for specific members of the player party, and like you just hear in your ear like these horrible fell whispers from this fucking software.
Yeah, it was really cool how people were like. So I didn't have the radio, and it's just amazing seeing how people were reacting to it differently. Like you were sort of hissing as your Naga self, whereas there were some sort of more sort of the brawny warrior types that were like getting really angry and turning on each other. Yeah, so it was really, really cool to watch and be a part of.
Yeah, it was super, super spooky. And like it was quite fun as an RP's perspective because I just got to have a fucking breakdown. It was fantastic.
Yeah, shout at the void.
Yeah, like fuck off, you bitch. Get out of my head. Boo. Yeah, so that was a whole thing. So learning that we'd have to go and say hi to a sovereign in person was a bit like, oh, this is not gonna be fun. Cool.
Oh no, not again.
Oh no, exactly. So we get there, we go through the Sentinel Gate to get to the sovereign. And the kids each had like offerings to give to the sovereign in order to appease them because the Druge had stolen something from them. So this was an attempt by the Empire to curry favor with this particular sovereign by replacing what the Druge took. So these kids had to go into this room, and it was really cool set dressing actually because it was like a giant feast tent by Games Operation. Yeah, and it was like there was lighting and there was a table that was like covered with food and stuff and like really, really lush looking like fancy cakes and a row, and it was like, you know, every sort of classic noble person's feast that you see in movies.
Yeah.
Pretty much that. And then at the very edge of the table, this sovereign is sat, and it's got like bandages across their face, and they have no eyes, but then they hold up their palms, and they've got eyes on their palms.
Oh no, it's like the
Yeah.
Hellboy thing, or like, oh no, the Pan's Labyrinth thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fucking creepy. So we all sit down, and it's like giving it, like moving its hands around to look at all the kids and stuff, and like taking in all of us at this table. And there was this like Siaka Herald, like squid entity morphing around the table. So fucking creepy, because again, it had like these long robes, and instead of a mouth, it had like this prosthetic squid mouth thing. It was like a like a gaping maw. It was just it was horrible.
Not allowed.
Yeah, and it had like some sort of noisemaker in this prosthetic, because every time it breathed, it made like a sucking sound. Like it's just so disgusting.
I love how this is the kids' mission. Like, this would scare the shit out of me.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go in there.
Oh, it was ridiculous. And like we were just sat there, and bless them, the kids were like, what the fuck is this shit? This is horrible. And they were so brave though, bless their hearts, because they went and sat right by the fucking sovereign and like gave them their little trinkets and stuff, and they actually did it. Like, they managed to get the sovereign to go back to sleep and stop harassing everybody. And so yeah, the mission was a success, and we left. But throughout this whole time we were sat there, we had like fell whispers again around the table. And this time it was saying, you could just like take things. You could just take something from this table. Look at it. It looks awesome.
Oh,
and like,
no.
Look, there's not just food here. There's resources too. And the Empire needs resources. If you leave them behind, the Empire could fall, and it's your fault. Like, really scary shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And
As
your dog itself, a shiny is particularly tempting sometimes.
Yeah, so it was so bad. I had to sit on my hands and like hope that Rule would fucking be like, no bitch, if I tried anything.
Yeah.
Just
stab
like,
you.
Exactly. It's like just you know, just push me off a bench. It's fine. It's mild concussion. We can cope. But yeah, so we left that, and then immediately after, like, I walked out the Sentinel Gate, and then immediately had to go back through because it was the Calavesi mission directly after that. Yeah.
So
we went from
Goose Whisper Calavesi mission, right?
Exactly that. Yeah. So just walking out of the Sentinel Gate and just seeing this group of Calavesi, because we're not exactly subtle.
No,
we're all very spooky and very dark and creepy looking, and lots of us are Nagas. So there's a lot of swamp snake involved in this mission, and we're all just chilling by the Sentinel Gate. It was quite funny at one point because we almost went through the gate accidentally onto like a fighting mission, and we were like,
no.
No. Very few of us, like, some of us here are fighters, but a lot of us are non-coms.
Turn up in Vietnam, like
exactly, like Empire Vietnam
in Umbrella Academy.
Exactly. Oh my god, we'd fucking walk through into a Druid ambush and be like, well.
Where are the drugs? I just came here for drugs.
Exactly. Like, you got spice? Are you cool? Do you spice? And then stab you with a spleen, and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't very cash money of you. Not at all. So this whole mission was actually really, really cool, because before this, Goose Whispers, generally you go into a tent and you're given a vision by the crew who fill the tent with smoke, and then they get 2 or 3 NPCs to essentially act out this vision. And a lot of the time you can't interact with it, right? It's like a very passive thing. You're almost like watching a stage play, which, like, it's cool. But this time was very, very different, because we went through the Sentinel Gate to the aviary, which is supposedly what makes Goose Whisper more powerful, because in the swamp itself, so it's very culturally yeah, exactly. It's a whole thing. So we wandered through the forest in this procession, and there was like spooky lights everywhere and mist, and it was like everyone was like humming this same dulcet tune as we were walking through, so it was very atmospheric. And then we ended up in the palisade fort in the forest.
Yep.
Yeah, so we ended up there, and it's just, it was so fucking cool, because again, we had the smoke and the lights and like the spooky music, and these NPCs were like dancing around us and stuff, and we could like actually talk to them and like interact with the vision.
Oh, wow.
depending on, yeah, I know, right? So depending on how much you interacted with the vision, you got role play effect cards out of it. Yeah, I got 2.
Oh no.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to look at them until we got out, so I was like, okay, I'm just put them in my pocket for later. And it was very cool because they were talking about how like the dragons are going to attack and the peace won't last, and we have to use the peace with the Thule to gain all their secrets, and then when they eventually attack us, which they will, we can fuck them up the arse with it. Long, yeah, exactly. Which is the long story short of that vision, which I thought was very, very cool because obviously
yes, awesome.
cool. And yeah, it's fucking dope. So we got out of this place, and bless like Salvi and oh god, what's her name? Tobratan's wife, Senya. Yes. So Salvi and Senya sort of look over at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like fucking rage mode because I've looked at both of these roleplay effects. One of them is want to solve your problems with intense violence.
Oh my god, no.
Yep. And the other one of them was you want to solve your problems through long-term planning. So it was long-term planning and violence. Yeah, it made her a very confused little snake person. And
I want to kill you, but I want to plan it out meticulously.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to murder you, but I'm going to think about it first. So, like, the first thing she did was draw her mace and try and go after the shaman.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, Ella.
Yeah, oh god, I couldn't find him, but like genuinely, like I was fully planning to just knock him on his ass, and like Salvi and Senya had to like disarm me and be like, "No, bitch, we're going back to the hall, you crazy motherfucker."
Oh, that's why she had your mace.
Because I was planning to go and kill the shaman with it. Yeah. Oh man, it was fucking crazy. And then I calmed down about an hour later, and then managed to run into you guys.
Oh well, that's a whole story there. You didn't just run into us.
Well, yeah, no, you guys ran past me. I'll let you take this one.
So this is one of those moments where it'd be like, oh, and then you guys came by, and then it would go to my perspective, and it would be like,
exactly.
and go back to the beginning.
Yeah, just because... like time skip.
Yeah. So it was the night of the Thane's stag do on the Friday because he was getting in character married on the Saturday. So there was whole stuff happening with that plan and what was going to go on. But also, since I didn't have any crazy random shit to do on the Friday, like Ella does because she's important.
Well, no.
I went down to see our friends in Varushka because we hadn't seen them for a while, and sort of hang out with them. And I swear I did something else because by the time I turned up, it was late. But I'm not sure. There probably was.
Empire timings.
But I've forgotten. So we turned up and it's already late, and there's a big black spot in my memory before that. And they were about to set off for their bar crawl. On Friday, we tend to do a bar crawl with them. It's one drink, one nation. We always fail to adhere to that, but we try.
Like 50 drinks in one and 0 in the others.
Yes. So what was it? There was like food involved at one point. The logistics are confusing and not quite important. But I was there with Hamish, Andrew, I think, and we planned to get going. Something happened, and we were like, "We'll meet you somewhere else." And we went to meet them in Navarre. That was it. So that was it. I still had my chainmail on, and it's fucking cold with chainmail on.
Yep.
The moment the sun goes down. So the weather, we always have to talk about the weather at these events.
True.
It was
haven't done
beautiful
that yet.
sunshine in the day. It was so warm. It was like you had to have your summer kit on. The moment the sun went down, it was freezing cold.
Yeah, it was like proper E4 weather as soon as it got dark. Horrifying. Yeah. Ugh.
So later in the year, so it means by the time we're done with fucking battle practice, it's dark. So it was instantly cold, and we just walked straight over to Varushka. We're like, yeah, let's go, let's say hi to people, and then the sun goes down. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die.
I want to die. I don't like this.
Yeah. So it was a brief hello, and then we'll reconvene later once I have stripped myself of this heat sink. We're looking the whole time. You've disappeared. You didn't come to battle practice because you're lazy, and then then you did other important plot things.
I did. Well, I was under the RP effect of being lazy that fucking night as well, because all the mages in the Empire.
Yeah, they were grumpy and lethargic that night because of some curse or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I missed battle practice because I was like, no, Farron wouldn't, and I can't be bothered either. So yay!
It
I see
works
reason.
perfectly.
Exactly. I see reason to be OC lazy. Bye, bitch.
Yeah, easy. So the whole time we're like, keep an eye out for Farron. She could be anywhere, and she's like Narnia. If you're trying to look for her, you'll never find her.
Very
So we're just like, keep an eye peeled, but don't seek her out because that's a way to lose an entire event.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, you'll blink and it'll be Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So we went back, stripped off, and then I think we gather a few other people, and we're like, oh, we're gonna go to Navarre and meet Frushkins and drink and be happy. Still can't find you. We're looking around. I'm like, I know she has friends in Navarre. She's got friends everywhere, so equal chance of finding her wherever we are in the field. We get some drinks in Navarre. They're very expensive. They only do cider. They're weird. We get told off.
2 feet.
Yes, it's really nice, but it's expensive. It's not very one drink one nation because you can only buy it in big bottles. So
yeah, we have to share it.
Something random. Some other Dunnings turn up and we're chatting with them. They're trading with people. We're standing near the Sings and Songs and Stories circle, and they keep telling us off for being too noisy.
Aww.
They got very angry with us.
Lol.
The people that the other Dunnings were trading with, he was trying to shortchange them.
Oh.
And so this Navarri comes over and he goes, "Oh, can you guys please be quiet? You know, we're trying to sing and tell stories." And we're like, "Well, this guy's trying to shortchange us." And he's like, "Okay, we'll stab him, drag him out of the camp, and then be done with it. Just don't do it here." And I'm like,
exactly.
Damn, Navarre, you scary.
Yeah, no, I remember back in other life that 100% was the thing. Like, if someone had shortchanged you and you had a problem, take it out with Songs and Stories, fucking shiv them up, take your shut back, and then go back
into that dark corner over there full of bodies.
Yeah, don't look at the man behind the curtain or the body pile behind that one tree. It's fine. Don't concentrate on it.
Yes. So we left there promptly. We were annoying people. And I was doing the Navarre sing like this chant, which annoyed a few more.
Oh no!
Very much asking for it, especially since I had taken my armor off at this point. I don't know why. I think I had the chainmail confidence, but not the actual armor to match. So
you fucking dumbass.
We left very prompt.
How did you not get venomed? I'm sorry. Wait.
Don't know.
Oh, amazing.
So we found the next bar. It took us a while. We tripped over a few guy lines.
As a Empire, yeah.
Yes, and we're gathering more people. I think at this point we found Luke Rawl, Captain Baggy Pants, and I was like, "Have you seen Ellen?" And he was like, "Yes, I have, but she could be anywhere now." She went into Calabacy. She's probably back by now. And I was like, "Oh no, she did Goose Whisper," and I remembered the Goose Whisper. Last time you took it, or one of the times, it affected you a bit weirdly because you're a Naga, right?
Yup, it always does.
So I was like, she could be fucking anywhere.
Yep. He's off probably stealing someone's kneecaps for fun. Like, let's face it, yeah.
I'm like, I'm dying in real life.
Don't die.
I'm like, nobody is safe from the terror that is Farron.
No.
But we'll find when we find it.
Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks to a bar crawl we had a few years ago, where it just keeps growing and growing.
Oh yeah, that specific bar crawl.
We went from about the 4 of us to now about a dozen. Because we had picked up a bunch of numbers. And we'd have some weird drinks in the marches. Wasn't a big fan, but we push on. The alcohol's not important, and we keep going.
It's just the fact that you had the drink in the nation.
Yeah, that box was ticked. So we heard tales that Dryguard was not Dryguard this event, and that they did in fact have a bar, but that it was new, and therefore they would be inexperienced and would probably run out of alcohol in the next hour. And we find it. We have to scout around. We go to Ambitious Cousins, Jashin's Legacy, and they direct us that the bar is in fact next door.
Nice.
So we go there very prompt. The man behind the bar, I have never seen a more stressed individual in my life.
Aww.
I saw him and he had this huge grin on his face, and I'm like, oh, he's loving it. He's loving running this bar. Look at him. He's serving drinks. Everyone's having a great time. The moment you spoke to him, you realized that this smile was like the biggest anxiety smile of his life. It was this huge toothy grin that was just like, I'm so shit scared of what's going on. It was just, and like one of the people had just been, one of the other people running the bar had been singing songs, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh, do you want some help?" And the guy's like, "Yes, I would love some help."
Oh, bless him.
It was the sweetest thing.
Yeah,
but
not ready for Empire's rabid drinking culture, clearly.
So they had lots of alcohol, but they had run out of a lot, namely mixers.
Oh no!
So they had beers, which I'm not a fan of, and they had a selection of spirits. And Andy, one of the Verushkins, and I, we come to the bar and we're looking for something that isn't beer. And he's pouring a bunch of liquids into a big jug. And he says, "Oh, we've got Pimm's." So he was like listing off all the things we've got, and he said, "I've got Pimm's." Now, and in my head, and in Andy's head as well, when he says I have Pimm's and he's pouring things into a big jug, I thought he was making a bunch of Pimm's, lemonade, putting a bit of fruit in there. We're going to watch the tennis.
Make it cool.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
Get your tennis shoes.
I was like, yeah, I'll have a glass of Pimm's. That's pretty bougie for Empire.
Yeah.
We were mistaken.
Dormish. Oh dear.
He was in fact just making a big jug of beer so that he could pour it out easily. And I turn around to look at the fire or to talk to someone, and I turn back and he has my tankard and he's got a bottle of straight Pimm's and he is pouring it in and he's saying, "How much do you want?" And I'm like, good God, no. So Andy and I now have both have straight Pimm's, and I've never tried it. No one should ever try it. It's disgusting.
No, it tastes like assholes.
Yes. So we promptly leave that bar, and we're now on the quest for lemonade. Running around searching for bars that might have lemonade. We came across a bunch of lemonade, but it was in the weapons checker tent. There was we couldn't go there.
I had lemonade.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten. So we go to the Ford, the OC bar, and we get some. That's fine. People looked at us very strangely, and it was a lovely. Then you have Pimm's. It's great. From there, we're like, okay, it's getting quite late now, and we still haven't found Farron. So let's go back to the hall. Maybe she's there.
Yeah. So
we get back to the hall. Turns out a whole bunch of drama has happened with the militia and the Thane. They've accused him of murdering someone. That's exciting. Yeah. He hadn't murdered one. It was someone that we had wanted to murder, but he had stopped us from murdering, and therefore I was pretty confident it wasn't us who did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his bar crawler, his stag do has also started, and as part of the militia coming for him, he's been smuggled out and dressed up as somebody else. All very cool. You're not there, but we're hot on your trail because before this, we had been in the Brass Coast. That was a relatively tame time, apart from the fact that Andy, her character Nadia, being a sneaky Verushkin, had been putting out and asking random passerbys if they had seen or heard of Farron in the recent hours. And she claimed she was putting out hits on you, and I was a little bit worried, but found it very funny because I was starting to get a bit drunk. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just tell people to hunt down my sister. It's great.
Oh, God damn it. If I had gotten stabbed, I'd have fucking blamed you guys.
Yep.
God damn
it. Someone said that they'd seen you in Wintermark, and we were like sprung into action, and we just like start heading to the hall. We get to the hall. Rachel's character, I'm not sure her name, not Blaze and not Moore, the other one.
Ooh.
She was like, "No, Farron was here, but she just left looking for you guys." And we're like, "Dear God!" She's like, "I'm not sure if she left Senya's thing or with the stag do." And the stag do's currently in the Artisan's Arms, and if they're not, then they've probably moved on. So we turn around and we go again. Yeah. And we go to the Artisan's Arms. You're not in there. God damn it. And Senya was standing outside, and you weren't with them. So we're like, all right, well, if they've come from the Artisan's Arms, Dawn is the next one. They're probably in Dawn. Start marching over to Dawn. We come across the party of Dunnings that we were with earlier. We split off from them a while ago. We're back with them. And if they go, "No, wait, she was in Verushka like 5 seconds ago, moping around because she's looking for you and she couldn't find you." And we just fucking take off in a sprint. Because we've been tracking you down, like hunting you, looking at the dirt and being like, 3 days.
It does look like a
Like,
Naga trip. Yeah.
yeah. And I there have a
There's
tank half
no
filled with him,
scales.
and we're sprinting, and I'm not the fastest. Someone like the Persians are off in front of me,
Yeah.
and there are people laughing at me because I'm sprinting and I'm going, I'm spilling my fucking beer, running down the main road of Anvil, and they keep running and they've gone around the corner, and I just hear someone laugh to my right, and I'm like, I know that laugh. And it was
Yeah.
fucking you who
It
had just
was
been walking back and you were laughing at some random people running past, and I was like, it's fucking Farron. And I'm like screaming for them to come back, and we have a big cuddle, and we're all very sad that we've been such like running circles around each other. But
Absolutely.
the
Just kept
bar crawl
missing.
was, yeah.
It was good fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Kept
that's
going.
when our paths then cross and the stories line up.
Yep, there we go. PvP reintroduced.
Yeah. So you were
That's
doing
so
important and interesting plot things, and I was just drinking and looking for looking for you.
Yeah. It's like, where's the random snake? Oh fuck.
Empire is a varied game, and you can do anything you want.
Exactly. Oh, actually, I did miss something out that I did shortly after getting the violence thing.
Yeah.
My coven had the idea to make me feel better, and to sort of fix some of this like this pent up rage that I had by doing a ritual,
Okay.
and having me as the target of that ritual.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So Farron's whole thing is that she when she uses her magic, her whole thing is that she calls upon magic, but she has to pay a cost for the magic that she uses, which in her case is in her own blood usually.
Yeah, blood magic.
Yep. And this was a fairly big ritual to give her 2 uses of stay with me per day. So to pay the toll for this ritual, I straight up stabbed myself in the stomach.
Oh my god.
In this ritual, and like we were doing it outside the Dunning's tent, and people were like, "What the fuck, Farron?" And I was just like, my own knife into my stomach and fell to the floor. Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, so I'd stabbed myself. Yep, and then found you guys later, probably still bleeding quite profusely.
Yeah. It's just one of those things now. If you see Farron covered in blood, you're just like, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, you're more.
I don't really comment on it anymore.
Blood. No, like it's just normal.
Like, at least it's not my blood.
Exactly, not yet. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not yet. But yeah, like.
After we found you, we then continued our bar crawl, and we joined up with the Dunnings stag do bar crawl, which was awesome. Because Leon was there again, and it was a huge family of Dunnings. The Brushkins looked like they were terrified. They were suddenly surrounded by red winter markers. Yeah. And we were running from the militia or something. Yeah. It was all very exciting. And and I think after that it just was a very standard night of one drink, one nation. We round a big murder ball of Dunnings.
Absolutely, it was awesome, and it's always really, really cool when we sort of get to drink with the family as well as with the Brushkins, because you know it's a very different sort of almost, it brings a different flavor to the evening, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good fun. It's really good fun. And then we woke up a bit hungover.
Yeah, we found a hat in one of the halls that was like a torn up bonnet.
Oh shit!
Someone had like discarded and left.
Oh god!
So we ended up just trading that amongst ourselves. This very like 1940s style bonnet that didn't really fit with the aesthetic of Empire at all.
Oh yeah,
so I remember that. And I woke up with that in my tent.
Like, how did it get there? We don't know. It's just there now. Oh god! Did you keep it?
Yeah. It was destroyed. Like this wasn't an act of thievery. It was very much, this thing was trashed and left by a bin. So
yeah, it was very much a mess. Like it had a brim on it, and the brim had come away from the top of the hat, so it was just sort of like a weird mask, like
a skull cap.
Yeah, exactly. It was a stupid little skull cap, and it was kind of hilarious. But yeah, so next day, little hungover. Oh god, why is the sky painful? Yes, and we were monstering that day.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were Drusian. If you're tired, you're hungover, but it doesn't matter. You got to put that latex orc mask over your head.
Yep.
And breathe through those little slit holes, and you got to run around in armor.
And you got to go and beat some Imperials up and be big nasty druzy boys.
It was a fight we were never going to win.
Yep, we got absolutely murdered.
Yeah, we started the fight ambush. That was the way it was. That wasn't us failing tactically. That was how it was always going to be. This scenario was we were just marching along from a battle or from to and fro, and behind us the Imperial army appeared. So we started marching away from them, and all of a sudden we stop and turn around like, oh, is that Imperials? Blah, blah, blah. And then from there, we just got destroyed. We got rolled into the corner and squished and murdered.
Yeah.
It was, and then the rest of the battle was very much just like little squads going out and harassing the smaller groups of Imperials, honestly.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it was genuinely just one of the most hilariously on purpose disorganized battles in the universe. Because, like Charles said, we got like completely routed into the corner of this battlefield. And then once we were there was essentially no getting back, because that corner is it's just so ridiculously difficult to get out of once you're there, because you just get cut off. And like, yeah, so we were like spawning in groups of like 10 or 20 behind this tree, just watching everyone else get completely paggered and like, oh dear.
We respawned, and Monica, who runs respawn a lot of the time, was saying, all right, your job is to march down there and take that fort. And then one of the guys was like, oh, what do we do once we take the fort? And she's like, you will die before you get there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's fine.
Like, I see, here's your objective. OC, prepare to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I spent a lot of my time on my ass.
Very much like that.
Exactly. This is one of the first monster slots where I spent a lot of time on my ass.
Yeah, because you had a pre-existing injury, so
yeah, it was a problem because I kept getting my fucking foot stood on. It was like, ow. Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit down for a minute.
Fair enough. You did your bit.
I did, yeah. They went out and murdered some people. It was quite fun. Also, because one specific Dawny boy decided to come and 1v1 me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept sort of like hitting him and then dancing back about 10 meters and then hitting him again and then dancing back again. So he'd just get more and more cut off. And then eventually the other druids were like, fucking get him! And like charged him, and he ran away like fucking, hell for metal.
Yeah.
That was really, really funny.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not salty that we didn't win.
No, exactly. We were
monstering, so. But yeah, it was very one-sided, but still enjoyable. Glad we gave an enjoyable little fight.
Exactly. And it's like, it wasn't like it was completely like easy totally for them. Like, they lost a fair few people too.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The ones that got caught out on the edges, they did lose some.
Yeah, because it's so easy when you're sort of Druge, because the whole thing is that you're sort of like individual murder squads with the Druge. Yeah, so you sort of, your whole job is to cut Imperials off and then murder gang them. So yeah, whilst it didn't particularly work when they did their tactic of lining the entire field with a fucking impenetrable wall of Imperials and marching forwards, because there's no way to split that shit off into murder squads. Like, I think they've grown pretty wise to Druge tactics now. Very good.
Got to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, well done, Imperials. You wise to our shit.
And then
there was wedding.
Yeah, the wedding on Saturday. Oh man, it was amazing. A lot of people have put a lot of effort into that. So it started. So Leon Renan, his character, comes over to me and he says, all right, I need a hand. And I'm like, oh God, what's happened?
What do I have to do? What have you done, Renan?
So essentially, he and a couple of others were taking Tobertan, the Thane, the groom, to the bar to get one last drink as a single unmarried man.
Single man, yeah.
Whilst I had to then tell the rest of the people who were organizing that he'd then been taken out of sight. Because what they were doing was they were getting Cobb and they put him in a dress. And they put him in a veil, and they put some fake boobs on him.
And did the makeup. They did his makeup.
All the makeup, everything.
Great.
And we then marched him down into the main square of Wintermark, and he then posed as the bride for a big old comedic display. Yeah. And so we do that. We march in a very militaristic way, as we do as Dunnings, and we've got we got Cobb in the center, our little payload of comedy, and we go to the hall, and then we bring the Thane in, and he looks a little bit perplexed. He's not. This isn't as he expected, and we form a big horseshoe so everyone can see. And then he lifts the veil, and just chaos ensues.
He tries to run away, and like Renan grabs him.
Like... he gets dragged back, and
so funny.
Rachel Moore's character, I heard them talking about it beforehand. She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be like, come over and be really angry with you." So she comes over and she like hits him with the sword and like tells him like, "Don't be so stupid. You know, you're taking the piss out of our Thane." It's really good fun.
Yeah, don't respect the Thane. Don't disrespect the Thane and his bride to be. Yeah, like,
exactly. Awesome. Then the whole through the rest of the wedding, she was like, you know, look at him like someone make sure he doesn't try any of the stupid shit, and it was really fun to be a part of. Then they get the actual bride, Senya, and it's a really nice ceremony. We got a couple of the priests saying things and doing things, and
Yeah, and then like it was quite funny because the second we started marching down, like all the other winter markers were like, what are the Dunnings doing? Are they going to battle? Are they about to roll winter mark? What the fuck is happening?
What's this?
Exactly, because our weddings, a Dunning wedding is very much the same as a Dunning battle line, which is well-meaning and violent. Like, it was good fun. It was real good fun.
And then once that was all done, so we had games and we had dancing. The games are very fun. I've done some of them before. It's leg wrestling, suak wrestling, tugs of war, oar wrestling, lots of wrestling.
We like wrestling at the Dunnings.
Yeah, so they're all good.
Again, well-meaning and violent.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Won a few games, lost a few games, and then Wolfmere and Tiny had arranged some dances, which once again, Dunning dances very much like battle practice.
Exactly.
Lots of marching, lots of shouting,
lots of shield walls.
Yeah, but it was amazing, and we all had our armor on because we were escorting the wedding ceremony, and we're Red Felder, so we had to. I'm a heavy and chain, and we're doing these fucking dances over and over and over, but it's so much fun.
So good.
Can't even describe how they were, but hopefully we do them again, and more people can see them.
Absolutely. Like, genuinely, if you're a winter marketer and you see a load of Dunnings gathering in the square in the middle of the day, come, because it's probably going to be a great fun time. And like, just get involved. It's always hilarious. And bless him, like Erywood was getting really into the dancing.
Yeah, like spinning people around.
Absolutely, and his massive full sort of chain, like riveted chain as well. We're just there like, oh my god, man, how the fuck are you alive? No, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was sort of like old school line dancing, right? So it'd be, do these set of moves with the partner opposite you, and then move down a partner. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's very well organized, actually. Like,
I was surprised they put so much thought into it. You know, it was spot on.
Fucking brilliant. Like, managed to herd the cats to do the thing, and it looked quite good, actually. Yeah,
it was good that a few other people who weren't Dunnings joined in as well. That's always fun. I think a few people from Ashton Hall came in. They were having a great laugh with it. So
yeah, it was good fun. Like, cause obviously the Dunnings have a bit of a reputation sometimes. So some people are a bit like, oh, there's scary Dunnings. We don't want to like do the thing because the scary Dunnings are there. But it's like, no, come on, it's good fun. And look, the only people that are being stabbed today is the one guy who we prearranged to stab. So you'll be fine.
Our quota of stabbing has been completed.
It's been filled. We're fine. Like our blood rage has subsided. Everything is fine.
Yeah, some of us are lovely. Come talk to us.
Exactly. Some of us are nice. Others of us, Hilton, might be a little bit scarier than others, but that's fine. You know, like each to their own.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh God, what else on Saturday?
A few different weddings happened on Saturday. I didn't go to any apart from our one, but there was a big Brass Coast one where there was like 9 people getting into a big old marriage contract.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and then there was also a Varushkin one, which, as I heard, ended. The ceremony came to its completion when they both impaled each other at the end of it.
Oh shit.
So, and obviously lots of jokes about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, legit. They're like, no, but seriously, they stabbed each other at the end.
yeah, exactly. It was like when Dad was telling us about it, and he was like, they impaled each other, and we were like, hey, it's like, no, seriously, they full on stabbed each other, and we're like, oh, okay. Are they alive? Are they fine? It's like, yeah, exactly. It's Varushkan wedding. It's custom. It's fine. Like they survived it. No death, no foul, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we tried to get on some skirmishes on the Saturday, but they were very much oversubscribed.
Yeah, we did. We gave it a go.
Yeah, so there was sewer skirmishes. I say a mouthful. This event, which was small 5-man teams going into the sewers in a leaguish city to smash and grab, kill, and I don't know. But there was only 10, I think. So a very, very oversubscribed skirmish. We turned up and they were like, no, they've already been taken, which is but what are you going to do?
Exactly.
And I don't think much else happened on Saturday, honestly.
No, again, super wholesome event, super duper chill. Like we just went back to go and then sang songs and drank beer and stuff. Yeah, fucking amazing.
Singing.
Lots of singing. Stuff.
One of our favorite Wintermark bards turned up in Broshka with us again. Sang a bunch of songs with him.
Yep. Good fun.
Yeah, just like lots of singing, which is what I love.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about Empire. It's just that genuinely, if you feel like you want to have a sing song, or you just you have a song that you want to get out there into the world, just bring it with you. Get a load of drunk people, go hit up a bar, and someone will pay you to sing it. Yeah,
I'm living proof that you don't have to be able to sing.
Exactly. You just go and do the thing, and then suddenly everything's great and having an awesome time. And like, even if you feel like you can't sing, people will still join in with you.
Yeah,
because it's
just a lot of shouting most of the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Shouting is very important, and we all love it dearly. Yeah. And then Sunday we woke up less hungover. Well, I did anyway.
Yeah, I was right. I got an early-ish night because I remember we all came back to the hall on Saturday night and we sat there and we went, if we go in and we join the sing song, then I will not be in bed until the sun comes up. And Hamish and I nodded in agreement, and we were like, yeah, that's smart. That's a good little proverb we just said there.
Yeah.
And then you just piped up and went, I'm going to do the stupid thing.
And I was right. I did do the stupid thing.
Yeah, we went to bed, and then you didn't wake me up when you came to bed, but in the morning, you and Sam looked rough.
Yeah, I wasn't that hungover. I just felt so tired. Tired. And then I managed to wake up eventually and go to battle. Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah, the battle was...
Oh, man.
So, looking at what people were saying after the event, the force weightings for the two battles were quite equal. It shouldn't have been one-sided at all. But due to whatever, some people will wake up and realize that they just can't do the battle, or they don't feel like it, or whatever, each to their own. The force weightings were a little bit in one side, it turned out, in the event, with the people that actually turned up. Because on the Sunday battle, they ran out of orc masks.
Oh my god, really?
Saturday battle, they did not. So...
Oh, shit.
So it meant that, but also, as we said, the types of battles were different. So on the Saturday, we were getting ambushed. We were already at a disadvantage, so it didn't help. And on the Sunday, it was just straight up line fight, because it was Jotun. So it meant the Sunday battle was tough.
It was really, really
we didn't get rolled, but it was a tough fight.
Yeah, we managed to hold our own, but that was pretty much all we could do. Like, we could not physically push forward.
So it was Jotun, and there were frost giants.
Yep.
Which were huge suits. People like standing 8 feet tall with big old icy fists that shattered any weapon they hit.
Yeah.
They could only be hurt if you hit them in the chest. Oh.
Fucking terrifying.
They were so scary. They turned up to a line and the line just bowed away from them.
Yeah, like nope. Like they take one step towards you and you're like, well, I guess this is me then. Bye, guys.
If they hit you, you are struck down and your weapon is fucked. So there's no point.
it's terrifying, like genuinely. Also, they had a lot of fun scaring the shit out of Imperials while like making eye contact and then just like waggling their tongue at them, and like
Yeah.
it's like, oh god, why is the ice giant making gross sexual faces at me?
He gave you
Don't
those
like
bedroom eyes multiple times.
exactly. It's like I am uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yep.
You failed that charisma check, sir. I am just scared for my life. That's all that accomplished. But yeah, and then eventually it ended in a parlay, didn't it?
Yeah, as much as some people agreed with that, some people didn't. It did eventually end in a parlay where we accepted that they should keep this fort that we were trying to defend. And they gave us like 3 minutes to leave the fort before they just killed us or attacked us again and the fight started again.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people agreed with that. Some people were very vocal that they didn't agree with that. But we lost a couple in our haul. We lost a new guy, Bjorn, his character, and we also lost Edie, who is a very long-lived character in the game. She was in our hall, and she was one of the two senators of Wintermark. She was the Calavesi one. And it was an awesome moment as we were sort of marching off, very like hanging our heads and having a moment of silence as she was actually being carried at the front of the column. We had a bunch of people carrying her body because Andrew, our friend, he went to mid-battle. He tried to... So she went down and he grabbed a bunch of people, threw his weapons aside to try and recover her, to get her healed. But by the time he got to her, he'd picked her up, he'd brought her behind our line, took her to a healer, and just as he was walking to this healer, she went limp in his arms.
Oh,
because she had 3 minutes. And it's like, oh man, you couldn't have written that more like, oh, I don't want to say like not perfectly, but
heartbreaking.
It's just heartbreakingly, yeah. And,
God damn, like that role play must have been fucking intense, man.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
we were having a moment in the hall afterwards, sort of talking about her and what she's done, and she got named like Heart of the Eagle posthumously, and as a result of that, Andrew's character got named Heart Guard because he was trying to save her.
That was the one.
Which is amazing.
So good.
Yeah, some really real intense role play, tears and stuff. So,
yeah, tears and yelling, and Elson threatening someone.
Yes. So when we have these family moments, Elson likes it to be family only in the hall. And normally that's just someone gets shouted at and they turn around and leave the tent. However, this time, Mother Thane, who is a very much loved character in Wintermark, she is essentially all of our mothers, and she tells us off when we do stupid and hits us with a newspaper and stuff.
Yep.
She's also the champ. She was voted the champion of Wintermark. That's why she wears the crown.
Queen in the North.
Yes, Queen of the North. And she comes in the hall, makes it way past, trying to get past Ailson, and he lets rip as he usually does.
Yep.
Threatens to stab her if she doesn't leave.
Classic Ailson fashion.
Yeah, all that good stuff, and it's like big old shouting match after that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she comes back later and has a word, and whoa, that was some intense stuff.
Yeah, Ailson was not happy. He's not a happy bunny. Yeah. It was kind of this whole thing. But yeah, also, you got a traumatic wound coming off of that battle.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally got a traumatic wound.
Yeah, you did.
So just for those who don't know, at Empire, if you're fighting particularly strenuously and you get over, the injuries you seem particularly severe from a ref's point of view, they will give you what is called a traumatic wound card, which will have on sort of a sealed, folded, laminated piece of paper that will have on the outside what you know, which will be like, you're fucked.
Yeah,
like your legs broken, your bones are coming out, you can't breathe, and it'll maybe have like a role-playing effect. And then what you have to do is go to the hospital after the battle, and then they'll open that up and it'll tell them what's actually wrong, how to fix it, what happens if they don't fix it.
Yeah.
So I got my stomach run through with a big old sword. When it came out, the wound was weeping and black and gross.
Oh.
So I'm there like clutching my stomach the whole time. And so with the battles, it's like you can keep fighting, the moment you come back through that sentinel gate, you're fucked.
Yeah,
And
you need to go and get seen.
So we come back through the gate, and I like, as we're going between the two, sort of the OC bit between the entrance to the battlefield and the gate, I'm just like, I'm about to fall over, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
And I turn around, Josh pulls out from his pocket a traumatic wound card that he has.
Oh no!
And Tag goes, yeah, both my legs are cleaved, but I've used Relentless, so but that only lasts until the end of the battle. And I'm like, okay.
Well, we're all about to go down the rocks.
And this guy's like, oh, get out of the way, you can't fall over here. And I'm like, if I could, I would.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. And he like drags me to the hospital.
God damn it. Oh man.
And yes, my first bit of proper surgery roleplay was good fun. There's these two surgeons that were putting my organs back inside of me. You popped around to the window of the hospital to heckle.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, at the end, the surgeons were like, "You're giving us some good roleplay from this." Like, a lot of people just go silent, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna go at it."
Yeah, exactly. Because ow, you've got your fucking hands in my stomach, lady.
Yeah. So they put all my body back in. A lot of funny jokes about how it smells, how it looks, what I had for lunch, stuff like that.
Real gross.
Get a bunch of their estimates. They're like, oh, do you want blood on you, or do you want to keep your armor clean? And I'm like, fucking blood me up, sonny.
Blood is best.
Yeah. And then I come back to the hall, and that's when we had all the talking about Edie and stuff.
Yeah,
after
that's why
that,
we were late for that.
Yes, we had the Redfelder initiations.
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. So in the Dunnings, we have the Redfelder, which are kind of our elite, oath-bound warriors who, will die to protect the Thane and all that jazz. And we were very thin on the ground at the start of this event. Me and I think 3 others were all we had left. We are oath-bound to die, and therefore they're doing their jobs, I guess.
Yeah.
But it means we get left thin on the ground. So we had a big old recruitment drive this event. And as such, the initiations involve some sort of vocal, sort of vouching for the person, talking about their deeds, whether we think they're worthy, and then there'll be some martial tests, which is fighting some of us one-on-one and then fighting all of us.
Yeah.
And as a few people came in, it was a good amount, and the numbers are definitely swollen a bit now. It's good. And everyone gets in from the first test. We're all saying how great everyone is, and you get dragged in. I didn't think you were going to, and then they kept like egging you on, and you came in.
Caved to the peer pressure eventually.
So I'm just rolling my eyes at my sister joining the fight.
Yeah.
So, but first of all, I have someone propping me up. I'm putting all my weight on someone because my stomach is still very sore. Because I got told after the surgery that I'm fucked for like an hour at least. And so I'm there clutching my stomach. I've got all the blood on my hands, so it's looking good. So the talking bit's fine. Everyone gets in. And then there's the one-on-one where you choose someone from the circle, fight them. They have 1 hit, you have 3. And you decided to choose me.
Yep. Because you didn't speak. So fuck you. Because like everyone has to vouch for like your deeds to get in through the initial is this person a dick or not test. And my darling brother remained mute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I decided not to say anything about what you'd done.
Yeah. So everyone was like, you know what? Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. So I'm there, and Wolfmir's propping me up, and I like fall off of him, and I'm like clutching my stomach, and they're like, "Oh, he's injured, he can't fight," and I'm like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
And I get my sword out, and then you just fucking run at me like the savage you are, and I get like 1 hit on, but you just hit me with an axe multiple times, and then I'm like, well, I gotta up this, so I turn around, I'm like retching on the floor. I'm like pulling my stitches or whatever, and you come over like to see if I'm okay, and Ailson shouts at you.
Yeah, run back again. Yeah, I had to at least pretend that I'm doing what I'm told.
Exactly. And then there's the remaining testers. You just go around the circle fighting everyone, one at a time. which was awesome as you were running people out of the circle. And Elson's like, get back in the circle. And you're there just like fucking beating the shit out of everyone, like a little savage.
Yeah, I actually I got the name Savage from Leofric, Carl's character. Yeah. He was just like, because I just kept fucking like, I would take a charge at someone and they'd step back and be like, oh my god, like fucking Christ, what the fuck? It's feral.
Really
oh
yeah.
So good.
And everyone made it in. One of the guys, because we did initiations on the Friday as well, but I'd missed it because I was told it was going to be on the Saturday. And one of the guys, he didn't get in on that one, but then he got in on the Sunday, so that's good.
Hey, nice.
So now we're swollen numbers. There's lots of Redfelder again, so you've got to get yourself a red cloak. Because Redfelder means red cloak.
Hell yeah. And we've made a decision, which I'm really excited to start working about over the long dark, which is I'm going to be getting, hopefully going to make myself a big old sort of Steinery cloak, like with the red lovely fabric. I'm going to get some like fur in that bad boy. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so fluffy and warm. And then I'm going to take a blowtorch to it and some scissors and some fake blood. And I'm going to make it look really fucking gross.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah. Because because it's our icy dad's cloak, who is now very, very dead for various reasons.
You said that. I was like, I'm gonna make a Steiner cloak and Calavese it up, and I was like, make it dad's cloak.
Yeah, I was
add to the trauma pile.
It's fucking beautiful. Because what's hilarious about that is that it would have meant that she's essentially kept that fucking cloak under a board in Calavessa as like a fucking trophy.
Yeah.
It's like the last thing she took from her father. It's just like this fucking torn up, burned down cloak. And she's like, you know what? Fuck you, mate. This is mine now.
Shit that's bad with Dad, because it just means we're adding Oathbreaker to the list of things that's bad about him. If he was a Redfelder and he did what he did, it's like, you suck.
Yep, he's an Oathbreaker. He's a piece of shit, and he's now very dead. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Right, that brings us on nicely to our next one. Exactly. Let's just wear it on my shoulders for everyone to see. He is doing quite good fun. All right, that does bring us nicely onto our next topic, though, of how to survive the long dark.
Yeah. So, LARP being a camping hobby, being a camping hobby means it is, if you're not crazy, very much restricted to the warmer times of the year. In England, in Britain, that's mainly between, for Empire, the mainline events, it's between April and September.
Yeah.
Some events go on either side of that, but they are risking snow.
Yep.
And so that means between September and April, if you're an Empire goer, it's the long dark. There's nothing.
Yep.
The night is dark and not full of LARP.
Yeah, and full of terrifying normal people stuff.
Yeah, so you've got to fill that void with something, really, to keep yourself from going crazy.
Yep.
There's a few things you can do, really. Do not fear.
We are here.
There's people that have your back. Yeah, FMUF here to tell you what to do.
Exactly. Do as we say, not as we do, people.
Yeah. So first of all, there's like we said, that's the mainline events, right? April, the four ones between April and September.
Yeah.
But people, random Empire goers, lovers of the hobby, run sanctioned player events, which are pretty cool. I've not been to any myself. I've been to a Dunning player event, which we did just as ourselves. But there are loads out there that people run that, huge numbers. They're done in not camping conditions. They're done in like halls and castles. Inside buildings and castles. Yeah, castles. Depending on your budget.
Indeed.
There's one that keeps popping up on my Facebook that someone I know is organizing, that Giuliano is organizing, is a dating one.
Oh, yeah.
So you apply to it saying whether you're looking for friendship, romance, or business, and they'll pair you with someone as a sort of blind dating event.
Ah.
There's fighting ones. Sorry?
Is that a match found in Savos?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. There's more fighty ones. Curly Sam went to one that was basically Vietnam, It was like waves and waves and waves of 24-hour fighting. As the numbers just dwindled and dwindled.
Yep.
And then there's just chill hanging out. Either like Empire Day and the Pledge Ball. It's anything. People have thought of it and done it. So if you need to scratch the itch by actually doing Empire again, then there's lots of things you can do with those.
Yeah, exactly. So find them on the Facebook pages. Maybe you can like ping a friend and see if they know anything about it. Experienced players. Usually they've got a calendar somewhere. Yeah, like I know if people know Whitecap, his Fizz rep is actually looking to make a big old Druzy Boy event at some point. I'm not sure if he's already made it or not, but he's looking to make like a super, super intense, fighty, kick the Druge in the butt event, which could be really cool. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out on the Facebooks and everything, and he'll probably post it on there eventually.
Yeah, I think there's a Facebook page for all these. I'm not sure what it's called, but it should be easy to find.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll find them easy enough.
Yeah, we believe in you. Go on adventure through the Facebooks. The great wild land that is the Book of Faces. Yeah, you can also do other LARPs.
Yes. Do those.
You got Guild of Darkness, which is sold out, but keep that on your radar if Supernatural Buddy Cops seems interesting to you. It's run by Jonathan, who is a lovely dude, and you can search it on Facebook by just looking up Guild of Darkness and join the Facebook group and see what we're doing there. There's Future's End. I'm not sure if that's sold out for this event. But
it's normally a couple of tickets that come up from people not being able to attend. So there may be a couple.
Exactly. So like if Future's End sounds interesting to you, if you like Marvel Civil War, you'll love this. Just sort of bimble along to the Facebook page, send a message to the page runners and ask if there's any tickets available, because we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, that's November, I think. So
yeah,
just like I say, in some smaller events, they so that as not to compete with bigger events and the sites and everything, they'll go outside or within the bounds of the mainline season. So yeah, November. It means you bridge the gap a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. What else is there? There's the Flamel Academy, which is happening in December on the 15th. That I believe is also sold out, but that's inside. That's Smallwood Manor. Yeah, that is inside. We are not doing that shit outside in December. No fucking way. But yeah, so that's essentially. I can't believe it's not Hogwarts. It's just going to be super duper super fun, and I believe that they are definitely going to be doing another event after this first one, especially if it goes well. So keep an eye on the Facebook page again. If being a totally not Harry Potter honest gov wizard sounds good to you, that's where you go. Yeah, and apart from that, just make kit. Like just get crafting.
Yes.
Get crafting. It saves you money. It makes you feel good. You can have the thing that's personalized to you. It's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, take this time as a blessing and try and use it to make things, because I'm a big I'm guilty of this. I'm very guilty of this, where I'll be like, hey, I've got like how many days? 200 odd days between September and April. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. It feels that long if it isn't. And I could fill that with loads of crafting. I could make like 15 costumes. What will happen? It happens to everyone. It happens to LARPers, cosplayers, fucking everyone. It will be 1 week from Empire E1, and I will have not started jack shit.
Yep.
Use this time to make things. You want to make a cloak? Make it. You want to make a tunic? I'm going to.
Yes,
I want to try and make some
Charles.
armor. I got loads of time to try out all the new crafty things. I'm not going to use it. I'll let you know. 1 week from E1, I will have not even started.
Exactly. We'll check in and let you know. We'll name and shame Charles, and also me. If I haven't already started my cloak by then, I will also be on the name and shaming wagon.
I need accountability friends.
Exactly. There we go. Just feel free to yell at us over various platforms. Leave it in the comments. Like if it's a couple months from now and you're watching this video, which hi by the way, future people, if you are listening that far ahead, pop it in the comments and yell at us, because we're idiots. And also yell at yourself. Remember to do the things. And for the bards out there, for people who write music, do it over the long dark. Don't do it the day before like I do.
Yeah.
Bad plan.
What's that chord? I don't know. We'll do it on the live.
Exactly. Well, we'll do it live. It's fine. I'm sure we had a plan somewhere. But yeah, lots of ways you can survive the long dark. It's not all doom and gloom. It feels really, really long, and we know the pain. Trust me, but there are ways you can combat it, and just like even by playing D&D and like linking up with on Discord with all your LARP friends, there are plenty of ways that you can get through this LARP winter without feeling like absolute lonely shit.
Yeah, there is an unofficial Empire Discord. It's very full, lots of people talking, but it's a good way to chat with people, meet new people in the nation, play games with them. I think the Imperial Orcs are always there playing games and stuff, so if that's your thing, then I'm sure you can find that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the Empire Facebook page. If you just look in the little search box and type in Discord, it'll probably pop up as a post somewhere. Yeah. Right. I believe we're almost at a wrap. But before we go, do you want to hit him with an on your left?
Yeah. So you gave this to me all of an hour ago.
Yeah.
Like 5 seconds before we started. So that was fun. We're gonna have to start doing these freaking like during the podcast. Like we'll just hit them blind.
Exactly. We'll do it live.
Just to make it fair. So you asked me if you want to, I can't quite remember the wording, but if you want
to. Okay, right. So, Charles, oh no, on your left is the one item that you have to use to somehow survive imminent government collapse in the next 2 minutes. How are you going to do it? Go.
Easily. I can tell you right now that I can easily defeat this scenario of imminent government collapse because on my left is my Dunning's notebook. So we don't need no current political party trying to avoid showing any political colours. We don't need what we currently have. That's an easy way of getting around it.
Exactly.
No matter what country you're in, you don't need what you currently have, even if they're doing good things, even if they're doing bad things. What you need is a touch of Wintermark in your life.
Exactly. A touch of the Dunnings.
Yeah, we need some red up in there. We need egregores. We need people that are just the embodiment of your nation who just tell you what's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
And they know because they are you.
And then if you ask why, you just say hashtag cause hearth magic.
Yeah, cause hearth magic, cause Empire. If you don't go to Empire, this means nothing to you. But that's
exactly. Look it up. It's the wiki.
Yeah. Have fun. But you need a touch of red in your life. You need some Dunnings. You need some chain mail. You don't like what's going on. You march down en masse. And you bring out swords and you threaten them.
Exactly.
That's what the country needs. A good old riot.
Yeah, exactly. We just need more Dunnings flash mobs. We need more chainmail, and we're going to take down the bourgeoisie one eagle at a time. Yeah.
That'll be it. We'll march down to Parliament in our gear, and we'll take it over.
Exactly. That's where Guy Fawkes went wrong. He didn't have chainmail. What a scrub.
The Queen is a false regent.
Exactly.
We need the King of the North. We need the Thane. We need everyone. That's how it's going to work.
Exactly.
What we're going to do at Empire, the Empress is currently missing and everyone's vying for it. Fuck it. We'll march down to the throne room, put someone on the chair, done.
Exactly. Easy. Queen in the North, King in the North, tiny for Empress, whatever the fuck. Fill that power vacuum with swords and violence.
Exactly. We got you covered. We got men. We got women. We got in-betweens. we got dragons. We got orcs. Anything you want.
We got dragons. We got orcs. We got giant ice giants. Don't worry about that. Don't flung your shield at them. Oh, you did it anyway. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, you're setting up for you to knock it down. That's fine.
So yeah, that is it. We will just bring Empire to the real world and sort them out.
Exactly.
You've got everything covered.
Perfect. Yeah. No scenario fixed. Well done, Charles. You've now saved everyone from imminent government collapse. Good job.
Yep. Just another day in the life of a Redfelder.
Exactly. Oh man, we're all just so fucking heroic. You're welcome, Empire. You really are. So yeah, I believe that's it for this episode of FMUF.
I'd say that wraps it up. I've used all energy on that segment.
on that energy of you're welcome with Big Damn Heroes. I believe we shall leave you there. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on our various Twitters. Maybe we'll post more often. Maybe we'll continue to ignore that they exist. But don't worry about it. It's fine. Thank you for listening. We love you all.
Love you all.